Assalamu alaikum. I am Omar. I hope you are all well. Today's topic is about capital economics. Before starting the video, I request to all my friends to subscribe my channel and press the bell icon. Let's go to today's topic. We have different website open. Let's take a look at one of them. Capital and trust. In economics are stock of resources that may be employed in the production of goods and services at the price paid for the use of credit or money, respectively. Capital in economics is a word of many meanings. They all imply that capital is a stock by contrast with income, which is a flow in its broadest possible sense. Capital includes the human population, non-material elements such as skills, abilities, and education, land, building, machines, equipment of all kinds, and all stocks of goods, finished or unfinished, in the hands of both farms and household. In the business world, the word capital usually refers to an item in the balance sheet representing that part of the net worth of an enterprise that has not been produced through the operations of the enterprise. In economics, the word capital is generally confined to real as opposed to merely financial asset, different as the two concepts may seem. They are not unrelated. If all the balance sheet were consolidated in a closed economic system, all debts would be cancelled out because every debt is an asset in one balance sheet and a liability in another. What is left in the consolidated balance sheet, therefore, is a value of all the real assets of a society on one side and its total net worth on the other. This is the economist concept of capital. This distinction may be made between goods in the hands of farms and goods in the hands of households, and attempts have been made to confirm the term capital structure to the former. There is also a distinction between goods that have been produced and goods that are gifts of nature. Attempts have been made to confirm the term capital to the former. Though the distinction is hard to maintain in practice. Another important distinction is between the stock of human beings and their abilities. The stock of non-human elements in a slave society, human beings are counted as capital in the same way as livestock or machines. In a free society, each man is his own slave. The value of his body and mind is not, therefore, an article of commerce and does not get into the accounting system. In strict logic, a person should continue to be regarded as part of capital of society. But in practice, the distinction between the part of the total stock that enters into the accounting system and the part that does not is so important that it is not surprising that many writers have excluded person from the capital stock. Another 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 distinction that has some historical importance is that between a fixed capital. Fixed capital is usually defined as that which does not change its form in the course of the process of production, such as land, buildings, and machines. Circulating capital consists of goods in process, raw materials, and stock of finished goods waiting to be sold. These goods must either be transformed as when wheat is ground into flour, or they must change ownership as when the stock of goods is sold. This distinction, like many others, is not always easy to maintain. nevertheless, it represents a rough approach to an important problem of the relative structure of capital, that is, of the proportion in which goods of various kinds are found. The stock of real capital exhibits a strong complementarities. A machine is of no use without a skilled operator and without raw material for it to work on. The classical theory of capital, although ancient and medieval writers were interested in the ethics of interest, and usually the concept of capital as such did not rise to prominence in economics through thought before the classical economics. Adam Smith, David Ricardo Sr., and John Stuart Mills. Adam Smith laid great stress on the role played by the accumulation of a stock of capital in facilitating the division of labor economics and in increasing the productivity of labor in general. He recognized clearly that accumulation proceeds from an excess of production over consumption. He distinguished between productive labor, which creates objects of capital, and unproductive labor services, the fruits of which are enjoyed immediately. His thought was strongly colored by observation of the animal agriculture circle. The end of the harvest saw society with a given stock of grain. This stock was in the possession of the capitalist. A certain portion of it they reserved for their own consumption and for the consumption of their manual servants. The rest was used to feed productive laborers during the ensuring year. As a result, by the end of the next harvest, the barns were full again, and stock had replaced itself, perhaps with something left over. The stock that the capitalists did not reserve for their own use was the wages fund. The more grain there was in the brain in October, the sharper the competition of capitalists for workers, and the higher real wages would be in the year to come. The picture is a crude one, of course, and does not indicate the complexity of the relationship between stock and flour. In an industrial society, the loss of the classical economics, John Stuart Mill was forced to abandon the wages fund theory. Nevertheless, the wages fund is a crude representation of some real but complex relationship, and the theory reappears in a more sophisticated form in later writer. I hope you like the video. See you into our next video.